well known and in high demand across the world, sorry. And this work is, it's just a phenomenal work. She told this beautiful story of how she's one of 9 children, and both her parents worked, and her mother would leave them at home with a bunch of things from the $2 shop, like from the, those cheap plastic shops. And so she said she'd have soldiers and, bits of trinket stuff that her and her siblings would play with for days on end. And so she said she's very drawn to these objects of kind of mass production and cheapness. But she then intertwines it with these incredibly laborious and traditional weavings that she makes as well. So all of these parts here are hand woven by her. So incredibly laborious. So there's this lovely interplay between these incredible, patterned, labour-intensive weavings that she makes, kind of juxtaposed with these plastic swords, and these are heads from plastic rakes. The little toy soldiers, the little mosquito coils, the dog tags, it's this incredible abundance of cheap and nasty, but then mixed together with these incredibly labour-intensive objects as well. Amazing work, and again, such a generosity of spirit. She was so lovely to be around and to kind of share her stories and her joy and her enthusiasm for making. It was really beautiful. Anne Samet, she's got exhibitions all over the world at the moment. She's very in demand and very busy. It was beautiful kind of unpacking these. You kind of unpack them and they keep on coming out of the crate. There's more and more. So we might stand here actually and look at, maybe we won't have to worry about people treading on these. So Emma Boswell is an artist over here. So you just kind of realise that dedication to practice that someone like Albert has. Phenomenal. And he was very involved in the layout of the lighting too, because the lighting obviously is as important as the objects in some ways. These shadows, the way that they bounce off each other. I think it's a really all fired. Yes, so like 3 just killed at a time.
Because I know this is
very interested in what happens when something is repeated again and again, and what details you lose and what details you pick up. And so there's 1,008 of these objects, so 504 stones. And he really is a maker. He makes and he makes and he makes. And he had an exhibition quite recently where he had 5 or 6 of this scale installations. And again, all done in this tiny studio in Japan. So this is Chris Stoll, who also made the toothpicks work out in the African states. And this one is made entirely with bottle tops. Beer bottle tops, no less. So I don't know what sort of beer is drunk in Cape Town, but it's obviously got a red bottle top into it. Shaped, or I think it's again a bit like his toothpicks outside. You're just kind of not quite sure what you're looking at. It takes you a while to ground yourself. And I always think, I wonder if people would actually ever find out that it's bottle tops without standing in front of it for a good 10 minutes to see it. So we're very fortunate to have loaned this work as well. So this they actually weave onto come from car seats. So in Australia there's very much a tradition of if your car breaks down and you're in the rural or remote areas, you leave it there. And so I really like the fact that these women are working with those objects that have kind of been imposed upon their landscape, but then bring their landscape back into these objects again by bringing these 2 practices together. So each of these are from cars, and so you get these recycle the videos. Yeah, it's tough. We do need to make sure people are okay with hearing the story, but that's the work of artists, to share things like this. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to another work. So these works here, I think very joyous works. Nice shift for me. Try to make visible, I guess, things that might otherwise not be visible. And these images that she has here are of her obviously making the work, so it's about that practice of making. But also it's interspersed with these stories and videos from the women who have passed away, from their social media feeds. They were very much advocates, they were very much pioneers, they were very much out there trying to demonstrate the causes that they were trying to change. So yeah, working with the families of these women, she's actually been able to share these images that she wants to, from her own perspective, share with the world as well. So yeah, she's very passionate and I guess very understanding of the fact that she lives in Western Australia, where she has relative safety compared to those women whose work she's honouring here. So yeah, challenging work. It says, let me remind myself. It's in Farsi and it says women, life and freedom, I think. I can't read Farsi. I think it was women, life and freedom. And shows work, which really is a celebration of labour, of practice, of making, of commitment, of these very domestic, you don't need to have a huge studio to make something like this. You can do it on your kitchen table, you can do it in your sick bed. And she really is committed to doing this very last for me, which is very good. She was an amazing, amazing woman. It makes all of us quite. You can take pictures, absolutely. Unfortunately, what we can't do is touch it. But I can tell you, picking up this seat here, it's like picking up a shoebox. It's so light. It's so again, it's that process of an artist using materials that tie into the ideas that he's kind of working with, which is this idea of sort of patheticness and feebleness. So this came out of the crate from the space, and it was made in Indonesia, called Yudi's Solistio. Now this artwork also belongs to that same collector I mentioned before. So Confia Carbo is also the owner of this artwork and is on loan to us from Confia. And the artist Yudi Suliastio, he was very interested in making an object that was supposedly full of power and threat and violence, but actually taking away that by making it pathetic, by making it, it's been shot, it's been graffitied, it's been rusted. And so he was really interested in objects of power and violence, but actually trying to undo that by making it pathetic. The fact that you can actually make a piece of artwork out of something like wood that resembles, cogs and motors. His father actually owned a mechanics shop, and he spent a lot of time around two-stroke engines, so from lawnmowers to mopeds and motorbikes.
the Indian Ocean Festival ayaa ka dhacaya Perth weekend. Saddexdii sanaba mar ayaa la qabtaa the Indian Ocean Festival. Marka wadamada Indian Oceanka ku yaala Soomaaliya ayaa most appropriate waayo badda Indian Oceanka qaybta ugu weyn baan haysanaa. Marka way fiinaan lahayd in dad artistayaal ama musicians ama wax sawira ay ka yimaadaan Soomaaliya. Sawirkan hadda arkayso waxaa sameeyay Indonesia iyo Malaysia oo ardayda Curtin University intay warays ka qaadeen waraysigoodii. Marka iyadoo qoraalana iyo sawiro kalena waan soo gelin doonaa. Marka arrimahan bal laga fikiro yani waxaan ka mid nahay wadamada ku yaala Indian Oceanka festivalkan waxaa la yiraahdaa Indian Ocean Festival. Marka anakaaba ugu habboon baan u maleynayaa wadamada ka qaybgeli kara festivalkan. Maxamed Beth.
Transformation process in universities to continuously assess and adapt our strategies to remain relevant in the changing world. With that, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Buffy, and thanks for keeping to time, which is great, and will leave us